And it looks like we are live on YouTube. That's a good thing. Check, check, check. Hey, I think we got a decent levels on our guitar and on our voice today. We've got our lights up there, giving a gentler wash. Maybe I think it looks like it's bright enough. Yeah. And we are under 2 minutes to go. We always pop on a little bit early, check our signals and sound and testing. And so get your tea, get your water, get your beverage if that's how you're so inclined. I've been teetotaling a lot, and lots of water, lots of tea. Yeah. And getting through this cold weather. This is a cold winter here in the Northeast. But we did dodge the huge storm with blizzard conditions over the weekend. We probably got about 4 inches here where I am, and of course over in Jersey, 5 to 10, 12 to 18 along the shore, and in New England and Rhode Island and eastern Massachusetts, and out onto the Cape a bit, 25 to 30 inches of snow in spots. Wow. Oh, my old stomping grounds, and I clearly remember what it was like. You got to shovel twice, or you got to snow blow twice, because you usually can't. If it gets around 2 feet, it just becomes impossible to move because of the front height of whatever you're doing. Hey, that's 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Welcome to 3 Songs for Prometheus. I'm your host, Tom Cooney. This is a live stream weekly every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time on Tom Cooney YouTube. And it is our 96th consecutive weekly episode. We started this live stream toward the beginning of the pandemic and said we were going to stick it out every week until this thing gets under control and we are back to some semblance of normalcy. And so we are at it, trying to light a candle instead of cursing the darkness. It's mostly original music, a few choice covers with a bit of chat, a bit of cheer, and a bit of useful information. That's kind of what we do. So here's episode 96. Have at it. Hope you and yours are well, safe, kind, being positive. It is the Celtic holiday of Imbolc today. Imbolc is the turning of the sun's light towards spring. So we're halfway between the winter solstice and the beginning of spring. And the light is starting to turn. The days are getting longer. It is the beginning of the spring cycle in the Celtic calendar. They actually view it a little earlier than most other calendars. And many other calendars view it that way too. This is a Celtic tune I wrote called Brown Wen. White raven of the wind, seeding the light of the coming day, with new worlds where you begin again, with new worlds where you begin again. Scarlet locks frame her sea green eyes, rise she frees the broken and despair. Wisdom, healing, compassion in the Queen of Iris care. In the run if it's a dream you're after. Chase her across the morning sky. Run, you'll never catch her. You'll be left wondering why. Why her song stays on the wind. Why her touch can calm the sun. Why this world will always need her. Why you know you will always run. An original composition called Bronwen, parentheses, run. So I always enjoy playing that song. It's about a mythical Celtic goddess. And it's just so much fun to play. Hey, welcome to 3 Songs for Prometheus. I'm Tom Cooney. It is Imbolc today, or Imbolic, depending upon where you read it. And we're looking at some Celtic things. I want to do a real quick screen share here. And there it is. As you can see here, thanks to the History Channel, IMBOLC is Imbolc. Great image there on the front page of the History Channel today. It is a pagan holiday celebrated from February 1st through sundown, February 2nd. It's based on Celtic tradition. It was meant to mark the halfway point, as we said, between winter solstice and the spring equinox. In Neolithic Ireland and Scotland, the holiday is celebrated by Wiccans and other practitioners of neo-pagan or pagan-influenced religion, and by just modern-day hippies and earth people. Imbolc is just one of several pre-Christian holidays highlighting some aspects of winter and sunlight and heralding the changes of the season. It's connected with Bridget the goddess, by the way. Imbolc celebrations took the form of a festival in honor of the goddess Bridget, who was evoked in fertility rites and oversaw poetry, crafts, and prophecy. I want that job, overseeing poetry, crafts, and prophecy. Bridget was worshipped by the Philid, a class of poets and historians among the Celts of ancient Ireland and Britain. Bridget was considered one of the most powerful Celtic gods, the daughter of Dagda, the oldest god in the Celtic pantheon, the Tuatha De Danann. She had two sisters also named Bridget, though it's speculated that these sisters are meant to symbolize different aspects of the same goddess. Bridget appears in the saga Cath Maig Tuired and the Labor Gabal Éireann. Any Gaelic speakers in the audience, forgive me. A purported history of Ireland collected from various poems and texts in the 10th century. This just, in pre-Christian times, Imbolc observance began the night before February 1st. Celebrants prepared for a visit from Bridget into their homes by crafting an effigy of the goddess from bundles of oats and rushes. The effigy was placed in a dress and put in a basket overnight. And the day of Imbolc was celebrated by burning lamps and lighting bonfires in tribute to Bridget. Bridget, of course, later in Christianity became Saint Bridget, one of Ireland's three patrons. And there's a whole nother story on that we won't get into. And let's go back up to that beautiful image on the History Channel for Imbolc. Just gorgeous. There's our. Who said you can't learn things? On the weekly live stream, 3 songs for Prometheus. Prometheus, as you know, was one of the great Greek titans who invented us from clay, humans, stole food from the banquet of the gods for humans, and stole fire for us. And, when Zeus took it back, he went and stole it again. He's just, he's done so much for humankind. That's why this series is named 3 songs for Prometheus. It's the least we can do for someone who's done so much for humankind. Oh, just amazing. We do hope you and yours are well. Eyes of sorrow have turned to fear. Everything's been stolen on the cheap, hauled across the Irish Sea, leaving empty stomachs and full cemeteries. Now the sad-eyed boy from Clonmel knows there's only one story left to tell. Lies across the wild Atlantic at the break of day, far from these emerald shores in America. There are canals to dig and cloth to make, railroads to dig and earth to break, more labor to be stolen on the cheap in a brand new land of gentry thieves, leaving empty hearts and full cemeteries. Now the sad-eyed boy from Clonmel, he knows there's only one story left to tell. It lies across the wild Atlantic at the break of day, far from these emerald shores in America. The ones we bury here. Maybe Ireland is a fire we carry deep, deep inside our souls. But the sky cries this morning for the love, for the leaving. May new angels carry us far away. Across the wild Atlantic the break of day, far from these emerald shores in America. Across the wild Atlantic at the break of day, far from these emerald shores in America. Another original composition of mine, original Celtic composition, that one called The Sad-Eyed Boy from Clonmel. And it's written about emigrating from Ireland in the 1800s to America, after all the potato famine and crop failures and the other economic pressures that were put on the citizens of Ireland. A lot of assets stolen and excessive, let's call them banking regulations, where so many left. So again, like all emigres everywhere, is a story people have to leave. It's a tough journey. They have to go somewhere. That includes emigres today, fleeing civil war, fleeing violence, fleeing torture. Looking for better lives. And it's a challenging, complex political situation and resource situation. But of course, the world has to do what it can, as it has over the centuries, helping emigres from many difficult situations. So The Sad-Eyed Boy from Clonmel, I wrote that in 2019. That's in honor of my grandfather, who... You know, my dad was in his late 40s when I was born, and his dad was in his late 40s when he was born. So I never met my grandfather, but he emigrated from Ireland when he was a very young boy, in the latter part of the emigration in the 1800s. This is how far back, just 2 generations ago in my family. My grandfather was an emigre in the late 1800s, and he was the sad-eyed boy from Clonmel. That's where he grew up. Clonmel. And there's an imaginative story after talking to so many people over all the decades about the sadness and about how tough it was for people to make things happen. Hey, it is already 4:16. Unbelievable. The light is beautiful today in eastern Pennsylvania in the United States. It's staying light later. It's so beautiful. Boy, do we need it. And we're actually going to be just slightly above freezing today for the first time in a while. So it has been bitterly, bitterly cold here. We've got another really quick screen share, then we're getting right back to the music. Don't forget, if you need any information, contact your state's health department is the best place to do it. Of course, at the national level in the U.S., it's cdc.gov, the Centers for Disease Control, cdc.gov. On the international level, great guidance from the World Health Organization, who.org. So keep all that in mind. There's tons and tons of data out there, statistics like crazy. And it's COVID keeps raging. This Omicron spike has been as all the health experts around the world have said, the people who do get severely sick and hospitalized and the deaths are about roughly 90% are unvaccinated people. This spike, Omicron, is the spike of the unvaccinated. So please, 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 if you're not vaccinated, protect yourself and your family, and protect your friends and neighbors and loved ones, and protect others who may not have strong immune systems. Don't be the person who passes on the virus to someone who can't handle it. Just do the right thing. You've already received a hell of a lot of viruses when you were a youngster for polio and measles, mumps and rubella. You just, you've already done it. So, whatever political banner you're flying that's telling you to defy science, throw that banner in the trash. End of editorial for this week. Here is our data from the Pennsylvania Health Department. That's health.pa.gov, health.pa.gov, and we are on the statistics page. Speaking of statistics, since the beginning of COVID-19, there are 2.2 million confirmed cases in Pennsylvania. And as you can see on the far right, just follow that red ink and go all the way to the far right. The new cases per day right now are at about 29,000, almost 30,000 cases per day in Pennsylvania alone. There's an estimate of probable cases of another half a million. People say that is low because of the very low counting and the hiding of numbers that has been going on since the beginning of the pandemic. Many people estimate it's at least another million or two. There have been good news, 6 million negative tests. There have been, however, very sadly, 40,000, almost 41,000 deaths in the state of Pennsylvania in the United States. That's just tragic, incredibly tragic. And as you can see in the far right in the middle, the deaths by day, that right now it was peaking at about 168 deaths per day. And right now we're down to about, I think it's at 130 right now. So again, the cases are coming down on Omicron, the deaths are coming down. But it is roughly, as you can see the cases by day up top here in the upper right-hand corner, it is double. Omicron is double the Delta case rate. It is just, wow. Be safe, be smart, protect yourself, protect those around you, protect your loved ones. Mask, put a mask on. Put a mask on. Really, please. Just do the right thing, especially if you're indoors for any period of time. Just do the right thing. Think of others. More editorials. That happens some weeks. We get a little excited. We kind of do. Hey, this is 3 Songs for Prometheus. It's a weekly live stream every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time on YouTube, Tom Cooney. It's mostly original music with a bit of chat, cheer, and useful information. We've learned about Imbolc today, the Celtic holiday for the turning of the halfway point between the winter solstice and the beginning of spring. In the Celtic calendar, it's the beginning of the spring cycle today because the days are falling toward spring now. They're falling toward the spring equinox. It's an exciting day. I've always been very excited about this day my whole life, and always watched the calendar and this day very closely. Just wow. I think meteorologically it might be another day or two to the exact middle, but you just got to celebrate the light. Once in a while we do a cover. the great song Dreams by Stevie Nicks, performed by Fleetwood Mac. It's the first time I've ever played that song publicly. I learned it this week after hearing it. It was one of those songs that as a musician, I listened to Fleetwood Mac. I liked them, but I never played their stuff. And if there were some of their songs that were overplayed on radio, I liked them less and stopped listening to those songs. And then later on, thankfully, when they're not getting so much airplay, you kind of hear them and you go, wow, what a great song. And I've been discovering a lot of those the last few years, things that may have been overplayed. Like last week, we did the Marshall Tucker Band song, Can't You See, which is a very sad and heartfelt and bluesy tune, which was massively overplayed, and I hadn't played it in decades. So a tip of the cap to Stephanie Nicks, and good songwriter, as was Lindsey Buckingham and Christine McVie and John McVie, and a lot of good writers in that gang. So, hey, it is 3 songs for Prometheus. I am Tom Cooney, and we are here every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And you can catch the replays on YouTube, Tom Cooney, in the playlist that's on my page, Tom Cooney YouTube. The playlist is called 3 Songs for Prometheus. Smart. Very smart. Let's close with something different, and thank all of you who are stopping by and listening. I'll make sure to reply to the comments, and as I'm juggling multiple screens, and I can't see some of the chat right now. So, but thank you. Be well, be safe, be kind, be positive, as we always say. Song by How Ketchum. Funny how the ways of love are never what they seem. Funny how the truth will come and shake you from a dream. Promise on promise turned into sand. It's hard to keep your head up. It's hard to stand and fight when everything you stood for has been stolen overnight. Teardrop on teardrop rolled down your face, awaiting redemption, praying for grace. I said, oh, waiting redemption. It's funny how the ways of love, they are never what they seem. It's funny how the truth's gonna come and shake you from a dream. Promise on promise, it's turned into sand. And it's hard to keep your head up, it's hard to stand and fight when everything you stood for has been stolen overnight. Teardrop on teardrop roll down your face, but you're awaiting redemption and praying for grace. You're awaiting redemption, pray for grace. Oh, that's it for this week. 3 songs for Prometheus. We'll see you next Tuesday, 4 p.m. on YouTube, Tom Cooney, for episode consecutive 97 next week. Wow. Be safe, be well, be kind, and be positive. Thank you for listening.